morning, everybody. Welcome to Beginner Tai Chi. We have one in-person student, so that's starting. Remember, if you are an existing student here at the school, we're still doing it on a registration confirmation basis only. We're limiting it to 5 in-person students at this time, just to kind of navigate what's going on with cases. How do we keep everybody here safe, staff and students alike? We are working on the first section of the Tai Chi form. We got through what we call grasp the bird's tail, but ward off, pullback, press, and push, which is what we're going to focus on today, and possibly see where we are and preview single whip. Full access training, we're working on 10 important points. We're on point number 3 today. And then for Master's Path, I've got an idea for you guys, since we kind of worked on the step test a little bit last week and kind of why you do that, what that does for your Tai Chi. And there's a move that from the intermediate and advanced sections that I want to show you or work on today that will kind of help you understand another way that step test will help you, kind of where you're going with your training. So with that, let's go ahead and bow in.
Oh, sorry.
Bow to head instructor.
Bow to head instructor.
Bow to intermediate level student and beginner students at home. Let's go ahead and begin with our relaxed breathing. Place your feet a comfortable distance apart, hands on the lower abdomen with your lips lightly sealed and teeth gently meshed together. Allow your eyes to close and begin focusing on deep, relaxed breathing. As you breathe in, feel your abdomen go out. And as you breathe out, feel it come back in. Breathe in deeply. Breathe out slowly. Be relaxed. With each breath, begin to imagine a cascade of relaxation flowing down the body from the top of your head all the way down to the bottoms of your feet. Feel your face and jaw relax. Feel your neck and shoulders relax. Chest and upper back relax. Shoulders and arms feel heavy. Feel your stomach and lower back relax. Feel the flow of relaxation through your waist, into your hips, through the thighs and backs of your legs. Allow your knees to soften. Feel your calf muscles relax, your ankles relax, and the bottoms of your feet relax. Breathe in deeply. Breathe out slowly. Be relaxed. Next time that you breathe out, go ahead and open your eyes. And go into embracing horse, so separate the feet shoulder width apart. Turn those toes in slightly so the outside edges of your feet are parallel. Bend those knees, sit back. Circle the arms back and around. release, straighten the legs, lower the hands, circle the arms up, inhale. And press the palms down to exhale. Okay, so let's go ahead and run through several times what we've done so far. I know last class I didn't really deeply discuss the the pullback press and push, but let's go through that anyway together, and then we'll take a look at those in specific. And if I have any in-person questions, we'll deal with those, and if not, we'll see where we are at the end. Okay, so let's begin. Step left.
Step left.
Commencement. Ward off right. Ward off left. Ward off right. Pull back. Press. And push. Good, reset. Do one more time without any instruction, and then I'll start adding in some of the cues, since I know these are new moves for some of you. Step left. Commencement. Ward off right. Ward off left. Ward off right. Pull back. Press. And push. Release and reset. And sink down and step left. Sink down a little more. And then commencement. Remember, lead with the wrist, let them float up, fingers stretch. Sink wrists and elbows back down to your side. Ward off right. You're going to shift to the left, pivoting on that right heel. Form a circle with the hand, right hand on top. Shift to the right, release the left heel, sink down, step in, step back, heel, toe. Shift to the left, turn to the left, turn the right toes in. For ward off right, we're going to turn a little bit more to the left so that I can release this right heel, sink down, step in, step back, heel, toe, shift to the right, switch the hands, turn to the right, turn the left toes in. So we've done those quite a few times. So now we're going to talk about the instruction going into pullback, press, and push. So from here, your feet are not going to move. My weight is going to shift between my front foot and my back foot, but my feet are not going to move otherwise. So you're going to turn a little bit more to the right, left hand by right elbow, shift your weight to the back leg, turn from the waist, lowering the hands, left hand goes down, back, and around. I'm still on my back leg. Left hand touches right wrist, shift forward onto that right leg for press, follow through, clear the hands, shift back onto the left leg, lower the hands, shift forward for push. Okay, from here, just let's reset the hands, so leave the feet where they are, and now you're back in your ward off right, so left right palm up, facing you, left hand palm out. And for pull back, you're going to turn a little bit more to the right. You're going to shift back with the legs, lower the hands. Left hand goes down, back, and around. It meets the right wrist. Shift forward for press. Clear the hands. Shift back. Shift forward, push. Do that one more time, so reset. Pull back, so turn a little more. Shift with the legs, lower the hands. Press, so shift forward. Clear the hands, shift back, lower the hands, shift forward to push. Okay, release. Any questions?
No,
No, okay. So I'm gonna demonstrate it as kind of so switch places with me. You're not switching places, I'm just gonna change my direction. And I'm gonna show all of that from facing you, a couple of different angles. So, let's see, so this is review. Review. New stuff. Again, and then I'll talk about some stuff in just a second. Okay, hopefully that was helpful. Things to think about. Go back to your knee kung. Don't let that knee cave in. So what I'm talking about there is, do it from the front, let's see if that helps. Watch this knee, it stays out the whole time. I mean, it's gonna change position as I straighten it and bend it, but I'm not letting this knee collapse in. See the difference there? So it's rounded out throughout. That's a knee saver. And that's one of the things that those Nei Kung exercises help so much with, is it helps train you to be able to hold your knees safely out over your toes. Do not let the knee collapse. This is a little bit of an advanced concept, but the sooner you can get exposed to it, the easier it will be for you to integrate it. In Tai Chi, you kind of have to, if you're trying to turn left, you have to go right a little bit. So you go right to go left, you go left to go right. The reason for that is that's what frees up the weight in our feet. So, let's see. If I'm just here and I shift back, I can't turn my waist as well. I just feel a little, not stuck, but I don't have as much range. Whereas if I turn just that little bit here, now I have an overturn, that happens too. I just turn a little bit, that puts about 10% more weight on my front leg, which loosens this back leg up so I can lead with this hip. That will not make sense to you if you have been training for just a couple of months. If you've been training for a year or so, that can start to make some sense to you. So if that's helpful, great. If it's not, chuck it. But that's why you hear us say, turn a little bit more to the right. Or in that first ward off, we're in ward off left, and we're trying to go ward off right. Turn a little bit more to the right, to the left, so that it frees up our feet to step. So that's why you hear us say turn a little bit more. And it is just a little bit. People will have a tendency to way over rotate, and that's not helpful either. I've lost my head suspended, I've lost my tuck, my middle back kind of hurts, my knees feel weird. So it's still keeping that shape that we've worked on in They Come. So it's just that amount of rotation where this maintains the alignment, okay? So let's see, from the front. Turn a little bit more to the left. Notice my lower body did not shift. My knees, my hips, I stayed here. Now, shift with the legs first. This is all going to get smoothed out as you do it more. But first, be very distinct that you shift before the hands come down, back, and around. And I'm still on that back leg. I don't shift until I'm ready to do press. And I clear the hands. My shifting is what brings my arms back, and my shifting is what pushes the arms forward. These in particular can kind of start to be simultaneous. It's easy, these are some, not simplest moves, but the moves you do the most in the form. And I've noticed that the shifting kind of gets blurred with the hand techniques. So I'm going to show you correctly. I'm going to do it from this angle. So I've done my ward off left, ward off right. This is correct. Versus I don't know if you can see the difference, but where this is happening simultaneously, or sometimes this doesn't happen at all, and the hands do this. So that's another thing that I see. Where my arms are doing everything, my legs really haven't shifted. I don't expect you all to like glean all of that at once. And just like I said, I'm just trying to plant seeds. And if there's one thing that's helpful or that you're able to keep track of while you're doing it, that's awesome. So there's upper follows lower. Upper and lower follow each other. That's a concept. That's one of the 10 important points. And it's really evident here. So my hands can't move till my lower body gives me some movement. Then this can follow through. Then my legs start the movement, which is what pushes the arms into press. My legs start to shift back, which is what allows these to wind up for push. I start the push, and then my hands continue. Does that make sense? Any questions? No? Okay, so let's run those together. Let's start from the beginning. So the whole sequence up till then, and really think about that shifting from one leg to the other. Focus on the feet first, hands come second, okay? Step left. Commencement. Ward off right. Ward off left. Ward off right. Turn a little bit more. Here we are. Pull back. So I'm going to turn a little bit more. Shift the legs, which is what lets the arms move. Reconnect. Shift from the legs. Generate press. Legs is what starts the hands coming back. And shift forward to push. Again. Begin. Ward off right. Ward off left. Ward off right. Pull back. press. And push. So what I'd like for you to do is take a minute, practice that on your own. I'm going to kind of walk around and see how our student here is doing. So just 30 seconds to a minute, and then without me constantly talking at you, just try it on your own, and then we'll come right back.
I am having some balance issues.
Mhm.
I'm going more off left, more off right.
Okay,
I'm not sure what I'm quite doing.
let me see.
The beginning of just that.
Wherever you have the trouble. So from there?
Yep. Right here.
So the ward off right looks pretty good. We'll talk about this on the camera. This is good.
When I'm coming in,
Yeah, I know it's weird, but face me this way. Let me see that again. I think your stance could be just a hair longer and wider.
okay.
Give that a try and see if that helps you, like, find that space. Yeah, that looks good.
Yeah.
Is that better?
I can already feel it.
Good. Okay. Good question. Okay. Did you get some practice time? So one of the in-person questions that we had was feeling off balance between that initial ward off left to ward off right. Anybody having that trouble? I know I did. So what was able to fix that was a little bit of a foot adjustment, a stance adjustment, which I will talk about right now. So if you had trouble, say where he was having difficulty, so you got to here, you got to here, you got to here kind of okay, but then getting to here was difficult. And it turns out for him, his stance was a little bit short for his size. And he was a little narrow and he was a little bit short this way. And when that happens, you feel teetery and it's hard to get that, well, if I turn left then I feel it doesn't feel right. So if you, while you're practicing at home, find that you can't, like getting from one move to another doesn't feel right, play around with your foot position. Remember that double dragon's foot placement. Two common things are, it's three things, but it's mostly these two things. It's too narrow, so when I say narrow, I mean this way, so you end up tight-ropey in your double dragons, you're here. Remember, double dragons is shoulder width apart, about, walking lunge. If I'm too far forward, I'm stuck, feel like I can't move from one foot to the other. And if I'm too narrow, then I feel teetery and off balance. So think about that shoulder width walking lunge and make a foot adjustment if you find that I can't get from this move to the next move. Whenever you have trouble with a specific move in Tai Chi, it usually roots back to a move one or two before. So I figured that would be helpful. I'm glad he had a question because it's a common question and it's something that, well, you know, it's kind of like, well, if this doesn't work, try this and this. So those are two things you can do to troubleshoot a move at home. And as always, you can take a picture, take a video, send us, you know, when I do this, I can't get this, let us know and we'll address it on camera as well. Did that help?
Yes, ma'am.
Excellent. Okay, so let's do that from the beginning one more time. And then kind of feel like, let's go ahead and preview single whip. And please, if this is overload, like help me out here. Like if it's, you know, we could really do like a bunch more moves. We got it. Or you know what? Hold up. It's too much. let us know, because it is kind of a learning process for how to pace a class when we can't get a whole lot of in-person feedback. So we're listening. But that's what I'd like to do. Let's run it from the start through pullback, press, and push, and then we'll preview single width a couple of times. Step left. Commencement. Ward off right. Ward off left. Ward off right. Pull back. Remember, legs first. Press. And push. All right, bear with me. If you know this move, bear with me still, because I'm going to break it down. Shift back. Straighten the arms. Turn to the left, turning the right toes in extremely. Continue turning to the left. Shift to the right. Form a circle with the hands, right hand on top in a beak. Sink down, step in, step back, heel toe. Shift to the left, lift the left hand, turn to the left, turn the right toes in. Mouthful. Again, let's pick that up from the end of push. Single width, shift back, straighten the hands. Turn to the left, right toes get turned in extremely. Continue turning to the left. Shift to the right, form a circle with the hands, right hand on top in a beak. I've also released my left heel. Sink down, step in, step back, heel toe. Shift to the left, lift the left hand, turn to the left, turn the right toes in. When you finish, you are here. So fingertips on the left hand are basically in line with your shoulder. The right beak is actually a little bit behind your shoulder, just a hair, and the beak is a little bit higher than your shoulder. So it's definitely got an open feeling to it. I'll see this sometimes. I'll see, what else will I see? I can't quite picture it. But that's the road mark. Fingertips, line with the shoulder. The beak arm is a little bit behind my shoulder, and the top of my wrist is about where my shoulder is, maybe a little bit higher, okay? All right, that's about it for basic training. We will continue working on single whip. In the meantime, send us your questions. We'll be sure to address them. Keep practicing. Yeah, glad you're here. Okay, with that, let's go ahead and bow out of basic training. We follow the 5 hearts: faith, respect, perseverance, patience, and humility.
Bow to head instructor.
Bow to intermediate level students and intermediate, basic, beginner, intermediate, advanced, black sash, whatever mixture we have at home. Glad you're here. Basic training is dismissed. Get a quick drink of water and we'll come right back out and work on important point number 3.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
I've been struggling with that for a few days.
Yeah, it's
Get lazy.
we get lazy and things change, and so it's a constant to hone in what is step back this way, step back that way, like what is that? And so by really playing with that throughout your training, because it's going to change as your aptitude changes. You kind of have to recheck in, because what worked 6 months ago is probably going to be different from where you are now, one way or the other, depending on up to my training. No, I'm sat on my couch, so yeah. Yeah, it's stressful. My dad's in surgery right now, and my stepsister hasn't let me know anything, so I'm like trying to
No, I
check.
understand. My brother-in-law is having his 3rd knee replacement on the same leg today. Right
Oh,
now.
3rd?
He went in at a 10. He should be coming out at a 10 now. I was gonna go there,
didn't even tell me when he went in. God, she was like, hey, we're not, nope, like, he's in surgery though, right?
Oh, that's the word. I know, it's frustrating.
She's,
He said this is his third one. It's just, he hasn't been paying and doing what he was supposed to. He's been screwing him up. It's all on him. I'm doing what I'm supposed to with both knees. I don't want to go through it again.
all right. How many people do we have? 6 people, I love it. Okay,
6 is good.
6 is good, 7 including the monitor, which always freaks me out. Yeah, if you ever see our eyes kind of drifting this way, we have an iPad set up so that we can kind of see what's going on in class to make sure that the YouTube feed doesn't drop. But there's a lag on it, so I'm watching myself like 15, 30 seconds in the past. It's very strange. Yeah, I'm just walking on now. It's real weird. Okay, so moving form, 10 important points focus. We did points 1 and 2. So first one, head suspended, light and swift as if it's suspended from above. The second one was close the chest, lift the back. The distinction there I always like to make is lifting the back has a different connotation than just closing the chest. So chest concave is part of it, but it's closed chest, lift that back so that you become rooted and connected through your back throughout your techniques. What that's going to do is keep you moving as a unit, and it's going to take the, you're not individually moving your arms as much because they're moving with your body. Today, important point number 3. Do you happen to know what it is?
Hips.
Loose waist. Yes, loose waist. So loosen the waist. So head suspended, chest concave, loosen the waist. So I'm going to read the commentary about that. The waist is the body's ruler, as in governing body, not the thing you measure with. It's your ruler. If you are able to have a loose waist, then the 2 feet will have strength. The lower part of the body will be firm, and the changes from substantial to insubstantial, what we were just talking about, and back again, should come from the waist. Therefore, it is said that the order and the idea should come from the waist. If you're not able to obtain strength, i.e. you're not able to do what you want, try to obtain it from your waist and your feet. Try to correct the movement from your waist and your feet. There's a lot of repetition in this, but I tend to take it seriously. Like they're repeating it because it's like, yeah, no, really, check the feet and the waist. No, again, check the feet and the waist. Are you having trouble? Check the feet and the waist. It says it 3 times for a reason. So loosen the waist is extremely important, and it is the governing body of your form. So when you hear us say, loosen that waist, turn from your waist, and those moves we just did, pull back. It's my waist generates this movement, right? More than my arms, I shift and I have a loose waist, which is what allows my arms to have power without using muscle strength, okay? So let's do the first section, thinking nothing but loose waist. It's okay if your feet are wrong. It's okay if your hands are wrong. It's okay if you forget about your head suspended. I mean, these things are cumulative and they tend to build on each other, but don't think about anything else but opportunities to loosen your waist. Yeah, and see how it feels. And don't freak out if this feels too slow for you or slower than you're used to. Just roll with it, okay? And just follow along. Won't be calling names or anything. Just find your flow. Begin. through these? Any feedback?
No, ma'am.
No?
Just trying to keep the waist loose as we move, that's,
And it's, with all of these, you're gonna find that, yeah, my waist is loose. No, my waist isn't loose. Okay, it's kind of loose. No, it's not. And that's, don't beat yourself up. That's just part of the process. Remember, Tai Chi will be there for you wherever you are. It's up to us to not, get frustrated and try to make it be something then different than where we are at any given time that we try to practice and play with our Tai Chi. I would say one of the things that I notice is if I am successfully loose in my waist, my feet will kind of just know what to do in terms of when the weight shifts out, when a heel comes up, when the toes turn in, all of those things. That's not attainable if you're brand new to it, but you'll hear me constantly remind you that Tai Chi is about moving as a unit versus me having to tell myself, okay, this hand goes here, this hand goes here, my head goes here, I look this way, my waist does this thing, this knee does this thing, this foot does another thing. Trying to micromanage every single body part is exhausting and really difficult. But it takes a lot of practice to unthink all that stuff and train your body to move as a connected unit. But loosening the waist is a big, big contributor to being able to do that. If you can focus on where your waist is, your weight and your substantial, insubstantial will naturally have a better shot at being where it needs to be. And if your substantial, insubstantial, where your weight is working, your feet are naturally gonna correct. Like when do I turn the toes in? They're gonna naturally wanna do that because your body weight and your alignment is in the right spot. That's a whole lot of information, and it's not something that I'm like, well, just do it. It's, we have the joke up here, if you were in class, Mr. Gage, our Kung Fu instructor, he tells his class, it's easy, just do it, it's easy. So it's emblazoned up there, it's easy. It's not easy, but just by thinking conceptually, it kind of helps me organize when I was learning it as a colored SAT student, what my priorities should be. If I think about loosen the waist, it's gonna help me clean up a lot of the other stuff that I'm struggling with in my form. So with that, let's go ahead and do the first section one more time. Think about nothing else but loosen the waist. And begin. Relaxed and leisurely. Loose waist. No stress. skill is creative spirit, it's dragon. So, the path of self-mastery requires a creative spirit. A creative spirit knows no self-doubt. Path of self-mastery requires a creative spirit. A creative spirit has no self-doubt. Path of self-mastery requires a creative spirit. A creative spirit has no self-doubt.
See, I've been about a head instructor.
Bow to intermediate level and beginner, intermediate, advanced Black Sash level classes at home. Black Sash reading is dismissed. Get a drink. We'll come back out for Master's Path. We're gonna expand on the step test. In a cool way, like I'm not just gonna make you do the step test again. We're gonna apply it.
Quick question.
Yes, sir.
After the hidden hand punch, would you sweep it clean?
Uh-huh.
Are you above or below? I think I was doing it above. I think I saw you do it below. Below.
Yeah, because it's this hand that's clearing it.
Okay.
Yep.
Any word yet?
Hmm?
Any word yet?
She's making excuses. I'm so overwhelmed. I didn't know you wanted me to tell you that. Okay.
No, you're not gonna worry. It's
Well,
about 5 minutes.
the added thing, my stepmother, her mother is an 86-year-old paraplegic.
Yeah.
And my dad is the one who manually makes bowel movements happen, all that stuff. So that's falling on her and me. And she has 3 dogs, 2 of which are obnoxious. And so she's moved all of them into their house so that she can stay there and kind of deal with. So she's overwhelmable because you won't get a dog sitter, which by the way, they would totally help you pay for if you needed it. Like, you know, we could make this less insane.
Yeah.
But, so she's overwhelmed at the moment. Anyway. Yeah. So, yeah, for the next 2 weeks, he had cancer and the radiation damaged the nerve to his eyelids, so it's been drooping.
Okay.
So this is just to tack, it's not super serious, but it's to tack that
Yeah.
back up. And then he won't be able to lift anything for more than, for 2 weeks until this heals, so.
Yeah.
I'm overwhelmed too, and they live 20 miles away every night. I have to drive down there 8 to 10:30 to do all the stuff with my stepmother. Yeah, it's a lot. So she's not the only one that's.
It's a lot.
Yeah. Okay, Master's Path. You've heard me talk about, we talked about the step test and stepping behind and setting this leg and kind of playing with that. Hopefully you've been playing with that. And you hear me tell the beginner students all the time, just wait till you get to intermediate advanced. There's like, you start moving in different directions and stepping different ways. So I figured today we would work on the first of those step in a totally different way moves. It's called Embrace Tiger, Return to Mountain. And it's the first move that starts off the second section and the third section. And remember, with Master's Path, we're not trying to get you like, got it, nailed it. We're just trying to expose you to it so that when you see it in class, you're like, oh, I've seen this before. But it's also, I was thinking, I spent some time over the weekend thinking about what would be helpful. Like, how could we show, how can I build on what we've been talking about? So there's this move, Embrace Tiger, Return to Mountain. And it steps backwards. You haven't done that in the first section. You do it a lot in the second and third sections, and this is the first of those. So I'm going to show you from the front. Do not practice this with me because it's going to flip it, because it starts facing the other direction. But this is Embrace Tiger, Return to Mountain. See if when watching me you can kind of get a sense of why I thought this would be helpful to build on talking about the step test. Where am I? There I am. Okay. Starts from cross hands. See anything you recognize. Before we talk through it together, what I'd like for you to watch this leg. And how, hopefully, from doing it right, it doesn't really move or come up. The knee stays set and locked until I am ready to shift into that front leg. Still on that leg. Now I shift. Recognize any step test in that? So, because, and it's okay if I don't sink down that low. Like if I'm just here, that's okay too. But I still don't move this. And by doing that, this tells me how far I can put this back foot. There's the step test part of it. If I'm sunk lower, this goes farther behind. But I don't come out of this leg. As opposed to, now from here, I'm already in this leg. I can't turn these toes out. This knee feels stuck. It's not good. So, you've observed it a couple times. Let's walk through it together. It's going to be weird since it changes direction. So just watch me when you can and then listen the rest of the way. So you're going to start from cross hands. So basically this comes from, we just did hidden hand punch, withdraw and push, cross hands, no feet together. We just pick up from here into the move. Okay, so that's where we're starting from. So start from cross hands. And again, I'm really wanting you to focus on the feet more. You know, I'm going to talk about the hands a little bit, but really pay attention to your feet and that left leg staying put so you can choose where to put the right foot. Okay, so you're going to shift to the left, lower the hands, right palm faces down, sink down, step in, and then left hand's going to kind of come up like you're ringing a bell. I mean, you're not ringing a bell, but that's kind of what you're doing. And then you're going to sink down, step in, step back, leading with the heel. Stay on that left foot while you turn the right toes out. Shift to the right, turn to the right, turn the left toes in. When you finish, I know you're going to look over your left shoulder. My left hand is basically like single whip. My right hand is down here, kind of like brush knee push, but palm facing out. Okay, let's try it again. And again, if you think of nothing else, feet, 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 left knee, left knee, left knee. That's what the takeaway from today is. All right, so from cross hands, shift to the left, lower the hands, right palm faces down, sink down, step in. You're going to open the arms, like left hand ringing bell, as you step back, leading with the heel. Stay on that left leg as you turn the right toes out. Yes, you feel unbalanced here, but you only hang out here for a second. Put those right toes down, shift to the right, turn to the right, turn the left toes in. That's embrace tiger, return to mountain. Now, just to add, like, where should your feet be? Perfect world, I've ended up in double dragon's foot placement with the right leg forward. I will just tell you now, on a diagonal, double dragons is never, ever, ever, ever going to look or feel like double dragons. It's totally double dragons, but it's always going to look funny if you're on an angle. So, again, this goes back to feeling. Instead of trying to align your feet on the floor, think about how double dragons feels in your ward off. Right, okay, that's where. And then, that's so, does it look like it? No, it looks, I feel like I'm on a tightrope, but if I feel it, and if I bring my feet back together, I'm shoulder width, okay? I'm not expecting you to get that, I'm just showing you why that step test is so important, because if you have your step test correct, you can start to find where do I put that heel in order to turn around and get to double dragon's foot placement. If you're not able to make that step at the right proportion with the right weight for you, it's not just solving for A, it's solving for A, B, C, D, and E, and that's a harder problem. Okay, so let's try it a couple more times together. So let's start from cross hands. And again, if you even just want to do the feet, that's fine. In fact, that's what I'll do now too. shift to the right, turn to the right, turn the left toes in. Again. Sink down, so shift to the left, sink down, step in, step back, lead with that heel. Turn the right toes out. There we go. And then it's turn to the right, shift to the right, turn to the right, turn the left toes in, that you hear us say so much in your first section. Any questions, Mr. Lewis?
Yes, when you take your right foot back, you bring it in so your left and the right are together, and then you take it back to step on the heel. Are you going back in a straight line?
Really good question. Yeah, so the question is, okay, so we sink down and we step in, and then we're stepping back, leading with the heel. Where? Wide? How? So remember, that sink down, step in is just to get your balance. When you become proficient at this move, which is not what Beginner Master's Path is about, that sink down, step in goes away. Roughly for me, I think I step back so that I'm in line with my hip bones. So basically, sink down, step in so I get my balance. But then when I step back, I lead with my heel. I'm not straight here because that's gonna mess me up and I'm not gonna have the right foot placement. I'm basically, roughly, thinking back, step back, straight, leading with the heel from my hip socket. For me. That's pretty close to right. It could maybe be a little bit wider than that. Like I could go a hair wider than my hip. But see, then I get narrow. See? So, that's kind of a topic for another day, but we deal a lot with this in the second and third sections, is finding what stepping straight back means. Not stepping back on a tightrope, but stepping, like when I walk forward, unless I'm like doing supermodel or work for a circus, I don't usually walk, you know, one in front of the other. I walk with my feet leading from the hip, and that's the same kind of stepping that we're going for. Like I'm not trying to cross, okay? Different topic, different day, but that's the answer to that question. So, I'm just going to show you without the step in. So I still shift, but I'm stepping back from that hip without crossing over. Yes, that looks pretty good.
Thank you.
All right. Does that? Hopefully, this gives you some stuff to play with, and you can see why that step test is so important, because you start stepping in different ways, and if you can't rely on this sink, and that whatever that is for you on the day is going to dictate how far, how wide, and how deep you can step in any given direction. So let's do embrace tiger, turn to mountain 2 more times, and then we'll bow out. And begin. Don't worry about the hands. Step back from the hip. Stay on that left leg as you turn the right toes out. Now shift. Turn the left toes in. One more. Begin. Get your balance. Leave this left foot alone. Lead with the heel. Stay on that left. Turn the toes out. Shift. Okay? Some light bulbs. Now look carefully. I think I see light bulbs going off. Send us your questions, comments, your feedback, how that was for you. If you have any questions or, hey, that was really helpful. We love hearing that. Senior head instructor Phil will be back for evening class this evening. I will see you Thursday again. And if you're an intermediate advanced Tai Chi, I will see you tomorrow night. With that, let's go ahead and bow out of Master's Path.
Bow to head instructor.
Bow to intermediate student, beginner, intermediate, advanced, black sash, whoever I've got. Thanks for being here. We will see you in class soon. All right, take care. And again, nothing personal. I'm just turning the feet off.